Good evening. You're listening to the Xtreme Movie Show. I'm your host, Rob, broadcasting to you, as always, from the Pineless Palace in the Xtreme Studios. I am just west of Orlando, Florida. I have also here from Central Florida the young 20-something Professor Pixel. And tonight we're continuing our coverage of Forever Night, Season 1, Episode 13, Father Figure. Not the Madonna song, of course, from the 80s or 90s, but the Nick Knight-led vampire detective show that is about feelings. And Pixel, this one is kind of a return to the form of some of the elements that we really like in a Forever Night episode. We get some sort of stupid, lame hit piece or whatever like that, but this time we get a little girl. About the only thing missing from this episode is nudity and going to the Raven, but we get to see where a little girl gets kind of chased down by some hitmen and all that. But Nick, bless his heart, he has this paternal instinct, and he gets to watch her and be the legal guardian for a while things sort themselves out. We get a lot of vamping out in this one, which is fantastic. I missed this. I didn't realize how much I did. With Shanky teaching her how to play poker at the table and buying her pizza. We get some sort of description about garlic and other vampisms, sir. An interesting episode, almost entertaining, almost kind of fun here. I thought the dubbing here kind of sucked, at least the print that I was watching. Other than that, this felt like the old comfortable Forever Night we've got used to so far here in Season 1. What's your initial take?
Yeah, no, I definitely see some of those early episodes in this one. Getting to see Nick basically play Papa for about an hour was fun. Most of that, though, is set in the present, but I do want to go ahead and mention the flashback has that too. And
it's an interesting one, isn't it?
It's interesting, but I also couldn't stand it. I hated the kid.
I admit, I did not like this little kid. Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and just dive on in, and we'll go with our background story today.
Yes.
Because in whatever year it is, you have Nick with this stupid mustache, and he is
German.
That's right, German. This kid is like running through this fancy palace, and they end up catching him. Oh, what's this? We should put him over this fire, Nicola. But no, they end up taking in this boy, Daniel, I think, maybe. And they bring him in, and they're falling in love with him. But Nick realizes there's only one way that this can end, with his destruction. They'll turn him into a vamp, because you can already see it on LaCroix's face.
What does this be great to Nicholas? Imagine that at his age, arrested in time. Whatever it is he says, I'm like, damn, that's a good way of describing it, bro. It's kind of funny. But why do you want a young pet around when they're annoying? Because this kid's like a street urchin. He's a thief. He doesn't have anybody, but he charms Jeanette there, who's looking at, just saucy in this one, like she always does, and all that too. And she's struck by his charm, which normally she wouldn't give a shit about it. Some typical human. We've seen that already. And you're right. This kind of is sort of an interesting idea, but I don't like the kid either. But it just kind of makes us realize, yeah, okay, in the future terms, the girl that Nick's watching, you know how he's feeling really emo? It's a serious episode because he wasn't wearing his turtleneck, but he puts on the white ruffled pirate shirt, as I like to call it. Now, he's not full emo because he's not laying on his back while music's playing and the thunderstorms are going off, but he's got some brand new blood that he's been trying to drink that has like, zero carbs, this and that, or whatever, and they have a nice discussion about it. And I'm like, this is kind of funny because there was a lot of actual Forever Night things in them that we've been saying we haven't seen expanded upon in the first half of the season too much. Like we find out here that when Shanky orders the pizza and he's teaching the girl how to play poker, he smells the pizza and he's like, oh, garlic. And Shanky's like, Nick, you just got the weirdest taste, blah, blah, blah. And it's funny, too, because this is something you and I had mentioned before, with things that would happen in his apartment. The little girl's sticking with him. Of course, he works the graveyard shift. So she's opened up. She's like, are you okay? Are you an alcoholic? Because he's got the quote-unquote wine. And I did like how they had like the 40-gallon drum that you saw him like filling up later while he was thinking about what the hell is going on. But not before a little girl who's bonding with him. And she seems like a smart, precocious little girl, not too snooty. Yeah. And she does something that I wasn't prepared to do, and I'm glad they did, because this is the most interesting part of this episode. He realizes that while he's taking care of her, and he tries to rest, nap, sleep, whatever you want to call it, she's just bored. She's a kid. She's tired of watching TV. Shanky's tired of watching I Dream of Jeannie. She opens the curtains and Nick starts burning. But while this is happening, the hit guys that were after the little girl found out where he's at. And they go in like full SEAL Team 6 style, right? Like going through the door, coming through the window. I'm like, these guys look like rubes, but they certainly know what the hell they're doing. And he's like, stay upstairs, knock yourself in the bedroom. And he like jumps up and he's flying around and stuff and dispatches them. This was some good vampire stuff.
How did you miss out? Because what she does, she opens the window. That's not the main problem. The main problem is she's playing with a mirror and she goes ahead and reflects the light onto Nick like he's an ant.
He's burning. It's really horrible. It's really bad looking. And what does he say? I'm blind. And he's trying to talk to her while he's in full makeup gear, which means, the fangs where you can't close your mouth and all that. But he I swear he still sounds good as a vampire. And ultimately, it's a fairly happy ending and all that too. But the one thing I wanted to mention I thought stuck out here besides some of the background stuff is we haven't really seen, I think, a very good pacing of the real storyline is just the past stuff with him and Jeanette LaCroix. I thought the girl was fine in here. Normally that can be hit or miss. She was not bad. But what were you going to say?
We got to mention one more thing, though. He doesn't heal as fast as he used to.
Well, that's because Natalie's been hooking him up. And here's the thing. We've mentioned how it almost seems like they're an item. And here they almost seem like it. The girl's like, when are you going to marry her? She's got the hots for you. I can tell these sorts of things. And it's true. They have chemistry. Whereas in a few episodes, we're like, well, you wouldn't know that if you were watching it, right? Because a lot of these you can watch out of order. And it doesn't seem to matter except for the relationship that Natalie has with them. And she's charming in this episode. She's got a sense of humor. She's fun. I'd be like, hey, you guys are kind of cute as a couple. This is kind of like Office vibes, not too bad.
Yeah. No, I think that the overall this episode is a lot of fun. With unfortunately a little brat named Daniel.
Well, she was not a brat. She was fine.
Well, not her, him.
Oh, well, I don't feel where the season's going, and we're halfway through it now, so it's pretty simple, easy review this week here for Forever Night. I mean, there's pretty much all there is to it. It's got everything we've talked about, and if you're a Forever Night fan, just diving the episodes, it's definitely worth checking out. I wonder what's going to happen in the next few episodes as far as picking up, because we pretty much get everything here. I thought we were going to have a shaky replacement because we get the one guy at the beginning. I don't know if we'll see him anymore. It's kind of like Columbo getting a dog in season 2 going, when the hell is he going to show up again? But, who knows? Yeah. I don't know. I liked the episode. I thought it was an easy watch, very forgettable, though. It certainly wasn't intense. And I think the first few episodes, there was an intensity to it that's been missing. It's just been pretty much cheap late night TV. So it's not horrible, but it's running the risk right now of turning into something where you just go, why am I still watching? And I don't want it to be that way because I have enjoyed it. But overall, a decent episode. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Decent. Could have been better. Could have been worse. We're happy with what we got.
Better than last week's episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. The more adult-like these episodes are, I think the better they happen to be if they cater to an adult audience. But this one is a very lighthearted, dumbed-down one. A child could watch it, not be offended by any of the themes going on in here. It's very motherly, fatherly type one here. And, of course, we know that's the dynamic with LaCroix and Jeanette and him looking back in her past, even if they're dressed up as German agents in the war. Which is, I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but vampires in the war, okay. I'm not even going to touch that, so neither should you. All right, thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, a quick review on Forever Night. We'll go a little bit more detail in next week's episode, which is a bit more talkable than this one, I would say. This one's cotton candy. You take a bite, boom, you're done. Good night now.
Good night.